Yes, the fancy workstation, the glass thing on the desk. Yes, can you switch it off and on again? Press the reset button or something. Okay, thank you. Welcome everyone to a new live stream that I didn't plan to make. You might have seen earlier on my more random stuff channel, I quickly also on the T2 mailing list, hey, can you quickly package this for me? Can you quickly test build me some ISO? I quickly need some anyway. So yeah, I quickly wanted to do a little bit T2 update and maintenance, and yeah, then live on this more channel, the Linux kernel, monolithic Linux kernel, single address space, you name it, crashed and kernel panicked and oopsed on me, and then it didn't even reboot, and then I had nobody in the office to press the reset button. So yeah, fun stuff here, only live on the other more live channel. Welcome everyone. And I was not using the latest Linux kernel, so in the meantime we are up and running again. Compiling here T2, having already done quite a lot of also. Why is this? Python, interesting. So in the meantime, also why is this here? Okay, delete this. In the meantime, I'm relatively, also why did this detach from what? Kill also. No. Okay, fine, whatever. Somewhat's not my day. So I thought the crash, so the AMD Ryzen build that you have seen, I had zero problems with it. AMD Ryzen 3950X with last year's ASUS Strix or whatever, gaming 470i or something, mini ITX. It was rock solid on the 2700, it was rock solid with the 3950X. Zero problems, you've seen it here, live streamed a couple of times from it. And the only thing I've seen once was some AMD GPU, whatever that was. Anyway, so today was only live here on the other channel. The first time, which by the way, we probably could still have in, do we even show this? I guess we show this. Let me just, how many serial numbers and stuff do we have now? Okay, fine, whatever. Also, yeah, so right now the dmask is empty. So whatever ULOVAR log messages, although we have it live on the other channel anyway. And if you see something too confidential, then whatever, that's maybe for oops, or is it, oops, loops, come on. So here we have some live, as I said, live on the other live stream, maybe that is the right one. So thing was, oops, SMT something, yeah, so bug unable to handle page fault for address hex 6, many zeros, 8008, error code, not present page. Here in hardware name, here obviously this ROG Strix X470i. And then also probably at that time it was already pointless. So what confused me a little bit is that the Linux kernel later said here, so page fault caused by firmware apparently, maybe, or I'm not really sure why it says firmware. Maybe the Linux kernel is just speculating there because it was random, not really totally 100% sure. If you fix here, if you recover from page fault, maybe not really 100% sure. In my opinion, also sometimes they could print a little bit more useful stuff in, to be honest. But late, so it looks like firmware bug, and then the Linux kernel disabled here the EFI runtime. Where is it? Sometimes somewhere's runtime. Froze EFI, RTS work queue, disable EFI, RTS probably runtime services. So EFI runtime services work queue. Get next variable, whatever. And so not really sure if at this point, I don't really think at this point this EFI get next variable runtime garbage was called. Not 100% sure what happened. So, and as you see, this was not the very latest Linux kernel, because I was using this amazing previous video thermal take tempered glass workstation thing with in the office with my external SSD, because we're not fancy workstation, and I had again zero problems. So right now I'm running this on recycled compute node, QEMU, KVM of our internal deployment stuff, and with this old hard drive that have been in this other black Silverstone Sugo 05 something compute node. And this kernel was slightly older because it wasn't running for some weeks that I built this and used my external SSD. So first I thought, yeah, okay, maybe this Linux kernel is slightly too old for AMD Ryzen 3950X, and quickly compiled a new Linux kernel. Where even is the kernel version here? Darn, it must be here. So 5.2.11, certainly not the very latest. And I quickly, which also what do we show this. So quickly I built a new kernel. It only takes 6 or 7 minutes on the AMD Ryzen. It survived this. I rebooted. I used it a couple of minutes, 20 minutes, and the machine was gone again. So didn't secure shell was dead. And I said in the other video, this comes from running consumer hardware on without remote management stuff. So yeah. Anyway, so maybe I need to make some own Ethernet ARM microcontroller thing and place it on the reset stuff. And anyway, so it happened also with 5.4 something, which is what we are running right now, which should be the latest kernel. I think probably at least as earlier today with Linux. You never know. If now we have already some new release of 5.5.4. Looks like it's still the latest and greatest. Long story short, I was running, because this was a compute node thing, I was running because, so then I was thinking, so I need this CPU power remotely right now. And I was thinking, what is the difference between this server disks, which also obviously T2 here of ETC version fame here, so yeah, a little bit aging, but anyway. So what is the difference except a little bit older stuff and my portable SSD, which is also similar old base system, just like emerged from source latest and greatest. And I was thinking, okay, the only change actually is that, except a little bit software, but again, Linux and the same Linux, also the same kernel, obviously with 5.5.4. So the only difference is that I was sitting there and working with the display, and one change was that this compute node stuff here was isolating the GPU, like unbinding it so that it can be passed to VMs. And I wasn't using a VM, so it was like the AMD GPU again in previous video, the cheap crap there, the Radeon RX 560D, the Chinese SKU with some fewer compute nodes. It was sitting there unused, and so the only thing is, so I moved this here. Also, yeah, some quirky Apple garbage EFI stuff, but so this is isolating some stuff. Actually, right now only the so some VFIO, PCI, IOMMU stuff here. Here the ID from the RX 560D, and so right now it is stable and did not hit again also uptime. So I mean stable for 2 hours 60 minutes, which again, this is portable SSD, of course, zero problems. So just some data point, I wanted to shout this out. Linus Tech Tips also recently had something with overloading PCIe lanes with server grade SSDs there, SCSI attached storage stuff, SAS drives or something of that sort, and like having interrupt, overload and whatnot, throughput issues. And yeah, there you can see it with this Linus Tech Tips. I was actually laughing like, haha, such a 48 or whatever SSDs stuff. Like, yeah, those YouTube creators, that's what happens to them. But yeah, then 1 week or half a week later, like, yeah, you leave the office, and as soon as you leave the office and your fancy Linux workstations that you have previously had zero problems starts freezing. So maybe, apparently, probably I will see the next days if this is stable now, but or if this reoccurs. But yeah, there you have it. Apparently, if you leave some GPU or other PCIe card, maybe this AMD GPU card didn't like not being used and maybe even overheating. So could be, you have seen also in this video where I installed this, if you post this card, the fan is not running. Maybe it was overheating, signaling some machine check exception there. I'm not sure what it can do there, or freezing the PCI bus or something. Something must have happened. I didn't have more in the demask there than what you have seen. But yeah, that is a summary of this sort. I hope you like this fun little episodes here and real world stuff that you otherwise can't make up. And yeah, welcome everyone. And did you get my message about you this morning? Thanks for asking. No, I've not seen that. Thanks for reminding me. For the old YouTube comments, I do not always get notifications. I then always only see them when I click. We can check this. So yeah, you can basically right now ask me anything after having, well, wasted time with this. But again, it also would have happened maybe with an, if you tell me if I would have purchased the Mac Pro, the overpriced cheese grater garbage, would have probably maybe even happened the same beside overpriced stuff, slower and whatnot, less repairable, less serviceable, no regular user swappable SSDs. And so it would have happened the same maybe if I would have isolated, unbinded there's a similar garbage RX 580 Pro Apple SKU stuff, then yeah, maybe this would have happened the same. Here's some interesting, I didn't even see that yet. So didn't get notifications for that. There is not really seeing here on the first glance 4 hours ago. Here's the VR MacBook Pro late. Yeah, wireless is indeed annoying. I think I mentioned this already. Was wondering how you got it to work. So I was using I mentioned this already in previous videos. I was using the binary only Broadcom driver. That is super annoying. Maybe I actually let's retro term another one here, and so this is mistype that only live here on this channel. Yeah, of course, too many authenticate. Come on, that worked. So maybe I have it lying around here. Oops. It's probably, yeah, so I'm using this Broadcom. This is also what this kind of thing super annoying. There are some modified forks of this because it's some binary only thing with some source wrapper. This kind of thing that personally I find super annoying. And yeah, some binary only Broadcom L thing. Yeah, not amazing, and this is also why I will not buy Apple hardware anymore, and I prefer not only better bang for the buck and just I can choose the hardware, I can choose the hardware that works for me and choose Wi-Fi that doesn't need binary only stuff. So yeah, welcome everyone to this low-level YouTube channel. So yeah, Christian asked, did we get the server? Well, it's not like technically a server, it's my workstation that I obviously left in the office. So I had someone switch my fancy workstation off and on again, and then I disabled PCIe VGA card unbinding. To give you a summary of other fun stuff, also yeah, it's not temperatures as you see. I've seen the temperatures previously, even with the low noise Noctua stuff. And so what we have done here on this and the other data center, to give you a summary, the daily life of running Linux distribution here, live only on this channel, probably anyway, I guess. Did I not had yes, this is also that. Yeah, also another regression, right? GCC doesn't build, so not making this fun stuff up. This is a fresh build on the data center, as started previously on the other channel, and also best with 2. And yeah, each time you build something else doesn't build. So now it's some really curious stuff. This is exactly this kind of stuff that I mentioned in the past, where I said a decade ago, or GCC 2 to 3, 295 to 3 transition, and glibc 1 to 2 transition, and all the fun stuff. So this kind of stuff I've also never seen before. This is also really curious here of note here error in expansion of macro underscore glibc cxx3.4 3 underscore 4 Zim version. Some things like no idea what's going on. I can't even make this stuff up. If you would think I'm complainer, and no, I'm doing this stuff for 20 years and I'm sick and tired of each day having to deal with other major legendary maintainers of GNU and Red Hat fame of breaking shit. This really gets old, and yeah, we need some data. So after perfecting data, our bot that is also rerunning here, also move it really soon here to my workstation, and there's also not that one, some of too many, should be one of that, come on, must be somewhere. Certainly not running, or in, where am I hiding that? Can't make this stuff up. Yeah, so next, probably I have to train some, wait a second, it's this EU one, too many. Data found something, okay, this is a GSOAP, just updated, this is hilarious. I mean, how often do they want to update this? Yeah, this is exactly what we need this data for, because I'm getting too old for this stuff, and fixing each and every one, and people from all the Linux distributions just copy and pasting the patches and fixes from our amazingly sorted source tree. Other stuff we've done today, there's even my other too many terminals, this one. So yeah, this is going strong here at home in the office, and other stuff that you learn something and know what's going on here on a recurring basis. What was earlier today, so not making this stuff up. This is a permanent job, which is also again why we turn to YouTube to document this here properly. Which date do we even have? Hello Siri data, we have the 17th. So the 17th, the day started, except with, yeah, so Gmime. Blues, yeah, live on this other channel, a little bit Linux update, yeah, a project here, some minimal, but then also from, and Dietards Biobur, so they then finally from a week or two ago, the updates, amazing modern break system breakage, glibc finally quirked this of this Meson and package config having hard-coded absolute paths to /user lib64 and trying to link in host system stuff that obviously should not be done, and likely symbol collides of wrong GCC private symbols. So finally quirked this with automatically transforming RW-WL rparse link and injecting the with the T2 automatic scripting stuff, injecting automatically the sysroot prefix. A little tiny, I was surprised. So this update I've only done, our Python 2 download had the wrong checksum, however this happened. Then I was like, hey, is there an update? And surprisingly there was a Python 2 update, so why not? I thought it's out of maintenance. Maybe it's actually, should we check if there is even another one? Python 2, or what was it even? 2717. So let's see if there is an 18 just for the heck of it. No, there isn't. So yeah, and then, so Python update just for the fun of it, because the checksum was somehow out of sync, whatever happened there. I really hate this out of sync checksums, by the way. Then Python, so then Linux header, there's also a major regression. A lot of stuff was not compiling anymore. Probably a lot of stuff that was somehow including byte swapping and endianness macros, because yeah, that is so 2020. Somehow some packages, not all, but diskutils and something else. First I quirked patch diskutils, but then also something else broke, whatever that was. And then I figured out probably, so we just the other live stream, we updated the Linux header 2 times, once for IA64 or something, and then for RISC-V. So this major upgrade here, and in this live stream, as usually I said, yeah, of course this will break something, regressions, and more regressions, of course it's regressed. always inline stuff with byte swapping and endiness. So yeah, reverted this because certainly not tweaking the Linux headers. It is Linus Torvalds' job. And yeah, also GCC fails, previous live stream probably. I'd say yeah, compiler cannot compile itself without some aborting with narrowing warning. So yeah, whatever is going on there. Also not my job. The GCC people, I just remove their W, or I just inject their -W no narrowing because yeah, not my time and money. Then mailing list, Jan Rovins sent here. Still works this. Thank you for asking. libAO suggestions from the mailing list. Updated this recently, didn't cross-compile anymore. Previously it didn't support destdir, now it does, so it had too many sysroot prefixes. So this removed thanks to Jan Rovins, amazing stuff. Each patch here appreciated. More, yeah, also this recurring you have seen on these videos. Often I quirk something of, yeah, this doesn't build, that doesn't build. Getting a little bit old here. So I finally removed this bloody AutoConf 2.13, the 20-year-old version that is only also here 2020 Firefox. At least probably I should check if it still needs this garbage, or if it can kindly finally remove it. Only packaged this 1 or 2 years ago for building Firefox, can't make this shit up. But yeah, I hope maybe with all the cargo and Node.js and Rust and stuff, hopefully I would hope they finally don't need this anymore. But if I would have to bet on this, I would bet they still need this. So yeah, maybe need to check this another day. But what I checked also, yeah, just for the sake of it, I then realized this auto make stuff is in the base repository. So I moved it to develop, just a little bit recurring. In the meantime, we don't do this often, but I still sometimes thought like, yeah, this is not the most amazingly sorted. This auto stuff, it's probably should not really like be in base. So yeah, move this over. I've done this already previously, a decade ago. Even GCC and GDB and stuff was in base. This is already in develop for 5, 6, 7 years. So now, also yeah, then something, because mailing list in previous videos, you see all the dependency updates always break something. MPC, MPFR dependencies of GCC. I updated MPC or something and reverted this again. And finally, because it broke, or ISL, the ISL update of MPC, ISL, MPFR dependencies of GCC. And the ISL update, I noticed some months ago, it breaks C log. And I took a closer look, and that's no longer used by GCC and also not updated since 5 years. So before deleting it, I moved it to attic, just, yeah, whatever. But probably it can be deleted. Also, yeah, a little bit grub2 currently fails and cross-compile, not really bothered to fix this right now. Also some ncurses stuff didn't really build. First I disabled this terminfo database build, but that caused that when you change roots then your terminal stuff doesn't work. I reverted this there in just the next commit, was too annoying. Somehow, yeah, can't make this stuff up. When you cross-compile ncurses, everything like works in T2 or worked for the last decades, but now with the latest version, it fails to build xterm 16 color for the term info database. I have no idea why. I debugged this like 15 minutes, couldn't really figure out why everything works. All the other xterm stuff and all the other 200 or 500 or 1,000 of terminal definitions build and compile just this xterm 16 color not, only in cross-compiling, or at least right now I think only in cross-compiling. So yeah, really curious, no idea what's going on there, and I just disabled it because yeah, this was too annoying to change root and not have VI working and all the backspace stuff not working. And yeah, the fun stuff you do all day. And then also removed clog from the default package selection, and also a new conflict recently. Dater, our bot here live on this channel, updated. Also, see, did you find something new too? Still searching. Also, how many drop frames? So the new syslog package of nonce, probably here systemd has its own logger, but somehow recently someone updated the syslog stuff of syslogging stuff, and it installs, can't make this stuff up. Debian people tell me I do nothing, everything builds. Like, yeah, everything builds. Every fifth thing I update here causes regressions and breaks all the shit here. So syslog installs a new logger, like logger binary that is also in util Linux, can't make this stuff up. I also wonder why in 2020 or 2019 people update some vintage sysklockd and add some logger program that is already shipped with util Linux. Beyond my comprehension, but what do I know? What do I know about maintaining Linux distribution and writing an operating system after 20 years? Certainly the people of sysklockd know better. So transforming this logger stuff away because T2 fails with, hey, this is shared, this is clobbering a file of another package, that certainly ain't cool. So yeah, just a quick summary of all the stuff I actually wanted to do live on the other channel, and then our AMD Ryzen failed on us. And as you see, actually, so we are still running, except this. Why is this not? What is here? Not really sure what is kill for. This is not binding K. So yeah, quite some questions, which is pretty cool that people recurringly tune in here for all these updates. Much appreciated to share this pain here of maintaining that. And yeah, welcome Liquicrest and everyone else tuning in. Welcome Glaucus and yeah, Devi, much appreciated. Will never buy Apple again. Brought it before Linux liberated and freed me. Yeah, exactly. Also, you can make this MacBook work, right? I still have it here next to me. Just like, yeah, graphic, this Gmux, VGA switcheroo, Gmux switching, not amazing. For me, it still doesn't work. Even if you want to use it with EFI booting, you need to EFI unlock it. Everything a little bit, yeah, you can make it work. It's a lot of secret tricks and tips that very few people know, except here, also on live on this channel. But yeah, also battery life is not the most amazing. Certainly here new devices such as this amazing ThinkPad Fame here, X490S and stuff. Also, personally, I would probably buy the slightly thicker one with Ethernet, but yeah. Certainly a battery life much more amazing. Also the X1 Carbon, their previous video, X1 Carbon, much more amazing battery life. The aging Retina MacBook Pro on Linux, 3 hours, even with my optimizations and Intel graphics, which unlock with EFI Magic, their previous video, 3 hours battery life, and it gets hotter than on macOS. And yeah, this ThinkPad stuff, and certainly much more. Amazing. Glaucus, makefiles, what's the correct makefile value enabling parallel build for packages? Just -J, if it is also correct. Well, I usually just the correct value is more or less just your cores, so your threads. If you have 8 threads, use 8. You can use like 9 for compensating for a little bit overhead of. But yeah, some people like n+1, but honestly, for example, as you see the correct value, if you have packages that, I would say the correct value is n. If you have n threads, use n, because otherwise you have one additional thread. If you have like Linux kernel, Firefox and GCC and all the longer running stuff here, then you have one extra thread. Also failure. What is even building here? Oh, Linux is building so much. Speaking, yes, then you see case in point, we have a load average on this Ryzen here live on this channel. Is it even on camera? I need to double check here. Because if you would have had this now +1, you would have 30 load average of 33. So if you have one additional thread that is fighting getting load, so that certainly is a little bit overhead, just tiny. It certainly doesn't really matter much. I would use n. As seen on previous videos, most time is anyway spent on serial configure stuff, but otherwise n, yeah. Unless you parallel distribute this with disk-cc and stuff. More stuff here. I'd say surprised by issues like this. I'd say I'm surprised, but when I see CPUs that can't add or multiply. You mean with GPU? So I'm also a little bit surprised, but I've seen, so a little bit of a warning, I've actually ruined, I had here other live videos where I totally ruined with this kind of stuff with GPU pass-through. I purchased old vintage hardware that I thought might be cool and could get cheap, so I purchased a Matrox P690 of good old-fashioned expensive fame that I was like, maybe eventually I reverse engineer it except maybe with Matrox 1. I emailed Matrox 3 times already, never got an answer of previous open source supporting Fame. At some point they even created a repository. There is an x86 video P690 repository, but it's empty. So at one point Matrox was close to releasing source, apparently, maybe allegedly, and really a pity. It's yeah, anyway. But so with this card, so I learned not all PCIe cards can do reset dynamically, apparently. So, and you need this apparently for GPU pass-through. And I didn't know this, and I didn't even know that this existed. So if you some of those older cards, also probably certainly older AMD, ATI, NVIDIA, or other fancy stuff like this Matrox stuff, not all of them support dynamic reset. And then the PCI pass-through does not work reliably. And I locked up this motherboard, this mainboard with the AMD 2700 a year ago. I locked it up a couple of times, and after like locking it up like with QEMU starting, QEMU KVM with pass-through of this Matrox card, and after locking up the Linux system like 2 or 3 times, after like the 3rd time, I had totally the LVM2 RAID out of sync, and it was horrible to recover. So as much as I in theory like LVM2, the RAID recovery is a total pain in the ass, unfortunately. So yeah, this is the story. So yeah, given this history with this PCIe reset, I'm not surprised about this. I'm just a little bit surprised that it locked, like just not used, unused, unbound, just hanging there on the PCI bus, overheating, or I don't know what it did, or getting bored and locking the system up like this, like yeah. So Christian writes, tend to stick with number of cores plus 25%. Yeah, in my opinion, I know the reason. The reason is also like over it, but honestly, but yeah, maybe benchmark it and leave in the comments below, or because otherwise, the Linux kernel and the makefile and shell and Linux kernel is anyway busy like forking a shell and copying, cloning the process image and running it and stuff. So not really sure if this plus 25% is helpful. Carlos writes 686 or 686_64, or did you get an other old PC? No, for me it's the same. If it's 3264, but it doesn't really matter much. I meant generic PC x86 stuff, obviously 64-bit. But thanks for asking. Devi asked, much of the MacBook Pro 2013 annoys me. The screen is stunning. Yeah, I wish. So this is the only thing, probably because this is still a loaner unit. So certainly probably could give Lenovo. Can you also zoom here off? So huge shout out again. Didn't even really ask too much. It's totally amazing that Lenovo, of the little support we get. Thank you again for the shout out of not wanting this loaner unit back. So this is still a loaner unit, but I would say the same if it would not be loaned, except it is pretty cool. I can mostly recommend it, except I would take the thicker one with, well, I would certainly prefer the previous models with external battery, but yeah, can't buy it. Otherwise, I would take the thicker one, the non-S for real Ethernet, but otherwise, thumbs up. The only thing is the screen and the chin here of the bezel. I would, this ThinkPads, I'm actually tempted to, maybe I should write Lenovo, also I know the answer already. I'm somewhat tempted of, hey, can't we make a special design edition or something like RXR approved ThinkPad stuff with like external battery and 16:10 screen with just this tiny improvements, like back to the external battery thing, secondary of course for runtime swapping, and the bloody screen, also previous videos there, AMD Ryzen laptops with not amazing screen. So yeah, this just tiny, so they are already like the best in my opinion, mostly except the Dell XPS also, but otherwise with just a couple of changes, 16:10 screen, also the AMD Ryzen higher resolution, the same Mac like 200 scaling, so not necessarily 4K, and this would like kill everything. I somewhat don't get. They make Lenovo, like other vendors, they make so many SKUs, barely different, just a little bit thinner whatsoever. But what the real pros want, external battery, more 16 by 10 screen, and non-4K, medium-sized, 200% scaling resolution. Not really sure what's wrong with those companies. So yeah, that's it. So quite some comments in the bootable 6502 has very few bugs. Like, yeah, this vintage CPU has also some bugs, but very few. Catastrophic CPU bugs weren't spotted before. I mean, catastrophic CPU bugs weren't spotted before shipping. Yeah, depends on active bugs and stuff. So let's see. I think I'm not even sure. Did I revert? Maybe as we unlock this and revert, because of Linux header, bad system tool, Mason, Python. Conditional S, ceiling warning stuff. So even you see, even T2, so many changes that even we sometimes need to revert, partially revert. Here is ISL. I'm not sure, did I commit this already, and was it MPC or GMR? Damn, so many packages. Okay, let's first try to svn merge. Not really sure if I svn start of ISL. Did I? We probably did this already. Of here that is that. So reverted revision this. Now that we deprecated clog, but on the, as you see on the first glance, often it is not obvious what is now the issue. I wondered, like, the GCC people don't update their clog, how do you even pronounce this garbage? Always, but it turns out, yeah, it was deprecated. So much to that. I also slightly wonder, this MP, did we? No, this other thing, I think we updated actually. How much do we even have here? Hey, this working copy is not too dirty. This was SGI tinkering. This was also the SGI tinkering from all the massive ArcLoad live streams. This is obviously two. What have we done here? Probably just reverted something for generating some PowerPC or something. So yeah, this is a summary of this live stream. I hope that gives another insight and summary. Soon, yeah, probably the next days, I also probably record some more pre-recorded video stuff. Also here of this UL-X3S, I think I always forget the name. I said it already, we have here already RISC-V synthesized and running. And running, by the way, as a sneak peek for the recurring subscribers, I certainly can. Oh no, I can't, because I only have a USB-C, USB port. Do I have a USB-C to? Okay, further away. Okay, then not today. So yeah, RISC-V coming, but this will again be a huge project because I need to retest and reintegrate everything, including an SDRAM controller to use this. As this is hardware, we need to. There are not even that many examples for the SDRAM accessing the SDRAM, so a lot of details will take hours and afternoons of redoing this fun stuff. You probably want to subscribe if you're fans of FPGAs and RISC-V. And let's see, what other fun stuff do we have? Remember 1200, yeah. This fun fact, the two other old displays, the NEC, NEC, and I think both of my old phased out displays in the office that I use for YouTube live streaming are both 1920 by 1200, 16 by 10, so much to that. Yeah, I would also, Glaucus loves the 4x3 panels. Yeah, I actually like the Microsoft Surface 2x3, it is right, or 3x2 actually. I'm slightly tempted to order a Microsoft Surface, what is it even, Studio, just for the screen of its only. I wish you could buy also, yeah, display vendors, don't make this widescreen garbage, make some professional high resolution 16 by 10 and 3x2. That would be amazing. And slightly tempted to order Microsoft Surface just for the screen of it. Also a little bit wasteful giving Microsoft money, just if you want a 3x2 screen. So T2 wise, amazing updates. Also, what is data doing? Okay, data is still, yeah, most updates already processed. I will soon put data here in full operation after a little bit more testing, and yeah, probably I leave this workstation running now just for some burn-in crash test. Hope this doesn't happen again. And let's maybe quickly I sort this Tmux kill window. Tmux kill window would be, is this not? Ah, come on. Is this not the way to in what in screen? This was Control A? No. Arcade server? What the heck? Yeah, plus what is, why is this? Which was I even using? Somehow I pressed something. I hate when this happens. Can't even Control A KZ. Actually, maybe kill all lure might. Oops, also best with. No idea what happens here with. I think it's like stuck in scroll lock, or also really hate scroll lock. How do I scroll? No, you scroll locky. Yep. Control AX. X. Let's see. Kill pane. Wait a second. Is this? Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, that worked. Treat. Probably was scroll locked. Not sure how I managed that. Always this. Tmux in practice, scrollback buffer, lock, trick, bypass, copy mode altogether, just hold, what? Bind, paste, buffer, no, I wanna know it's a scrollback. Anyway, they're not unless someone has what is there, Glaucus? You don't need CLOC and PPL now, just ISL and operate CFlex graphite look optimizations unless you meant CLOC. No, I meant the CLOC or whatever. That's what I said, yeah. So yeah, this stuff is still compiling there. So far, so good. Plus, yeah, so most regressions from the other live stream, Phoronix, yay, there's a glibc update, and then yeah, then deal with also regressions, thank you very much. Or Linux header, like updates, plenty of emails and comments here, why do we use this Linux headers, like yeah, updated and half of the package break, because yeah. Create error log x86. Unfortunately, quite some errors. Oh, wait a second, some errors are due to we still need, I really need sometime soon. So there was even already a halfway decent patch on the mailing list. I really wonder why they don't do this by default in Python. So here Python no fire 5. We can probably theoretically try BDB, not really sure what that was. Even add fails now. Can't make this up. ISA, why would ISL fail? Oops, Linux, we probably didn't really have to try. I'm not really sure what's up with that, but probably UDEF. Anyway, we're also mostly done. So yeah, just with optimization, also previous live stream we optimized to create this binary packages with just one ampersand in the background. Amazing shell scripting goodness, and yeah, certainly much more snappy now. This compilation here, not really, yeah, UDEF. Very theoretically, I also, yeah, just the other day, previous live stream, wasted quite some time with Bluetooth not working due to UDEF update and then nothing working due to UDEF update. Sometime soon, this is also the reason why I've not updated this in a decade or 7 years or 8 years. But what I also soon need to do, similar to the Gentoo people, I think I saw the Gentoo people extract UDEF for the separated UDEF package, building this because, yeah, amazing upstream Linux stuff, right? UDEF living in systemd, because systemd nowadays is everything in the kitchen thing, so everything soon the Linux kernel and the libc and your Emacs and Vim will be all in systemd. You guessed it, probably. Anyway, I saw, I heard, or guessed. And the Gentoo people I saw, I think they built UDEF because they don't release it separately anymore, because certainly they need to force everyone systemd down their throat. And so I also need to change our UDEF package, most likely to use this latest systemd integrated version, as not amazing as it is. And Kmod, okay, maybe this is probably a good point. We probably finally should make the switch from, do we have this in base or somewhere else, Kmod, and maybe, not really sure, theoretically supporting other operating systems. Maybe we move some of the packages into some Linux repository, like making, do we have here Linux already? No, we don't. So theoretically maybe making here Linux directory and moving stuff like Kmod and other stuff in there, maybe, not yet sure. Because soon certainly we want to support my new microkernel stuff, right? My latest and greatest vaporware. So then let's toggle this from making, oh wait a second, was this X already? Oh, this was X stuff. What is with module init tools? Of course this will break tons of stuff. So yeah, let's disable that by default. And package, maybe module and target generic package, sell all of this, and benchmark and this thing. So VI package cell 20 and module init tools, and finally it's already long overdue. Yes, already came out commented out. So mine RFR build x86 module init. I also slightly wonder why they had to rewrite it. It's a fun in Linux land, rewriting, and first we had what was it, mod utils or so for Linux 2 and 2.2 and 2.4. Eventually we had module init tools because it had to be rewritten, and now we have Kmod because it had to be rewritten again. I slightly wonder why can't they not modernize and refactor it? Why do they always need to systemd and UDEF, you name it? Somehow, yeah, not really sure. Would not be my recommendation, but anyway, x86 var adm log, let's module init tool that, and let's build that again, and also then let's UDEF again. Let's see probably some comments in the audience. Hey, welcome Foxlet. No Unbound, so booting this, so the code was doing, also came out, no, darn setlab connects this, of course it just instantly doesn't build because modern garbage packages, but don't really need this here in bootstrapping right now. This is mostly for cross-building and whatnot. Let's touch this. So reiterating here, less etc. So this was booting like normal and then unbinding it very early, so it was not yet bound by the AMD GPU. And you see we are still so long. It didn't survive earlier today when it oops and kernel panicked and crashed 2 times on me. So this was binding it, so like without unbinding it from AMD GPU. So this is before AMD GPU would be loaded. And so yeah, just like effectively hiding it. So booting with EFI graphic, EFI frame buffer, and then during boot, after the initial kernel init.rd load without AMD GPU with EFI frame buffer, then mod probing here, VFIO PCI, and binding this to the virtual interface IO PCI module there, and then actually, wait a second, it is not really sure which, or was it already, this is unbind is 9, let's was it 9, or do we right now not even see this here? Maybe this was USB actually, maybe. So this is 8, the RX 560D. Oops, that's wrong. So 9, 3, what would that have been? Non-essential, what the heck, why is this 9? No, maybe this actually moved. Maybe I should also actually comment this out. Maybe this previously was a graphic card and now it's so hardware, not kernel. But this was .3. What could .3 have been? A.3, maybe this was previously the USB controller before something moved around, because I remember once upon a time I was passing down here probably, or was this already, I mean this probably was the USB controller. So yeah, it should not have been loaded previously. Also yeah, now USB utils fails because, nah, thank you very much, fun stuff. Also yes, circular dependencies. UDEF wants USB utils for extras and USB utils wants optional UDEF support. So yeah, amazing software architecture in 2020. So here for passing it to, so it was like unused, bound to VFIO, and most likely as the only thing that I've changed since then, since the 2 crashes today, the hard lockups, is not binding it to VFIO and leaving it for AMD GPU to pick up and be usable to the Linux kernel. So yeah, since then that works. Yeah, welcome everyone, Anonymous and Foxlet into kernel. So Foxlet has run into kernel oops when unbinding a card attached to AMD GPU. You need to kill X and give a delay of 1 second before binding it. So yeah, I've not even done that. I've only on boot before even using it. Also yeah, Linux firmware, I wonder if all this. I'll also, do we not have, can we, I think I had this also here. You need to all kinds of fun tricks to bootstrap a Linux system. If you're wondering, that was straightforward with all those circular dependencies and stuff everyone is doing. I think I had this one setup that libUSB when built separately or when built in, yeah, but this is also the issue. If you want everything to work during cross-compilation, you can't do it like this. So now we have libUSB cross-compiled. I had it set up that if you cross-compile it first, then it builds without UDEV. And so that now actually UDEV could work. But if we would want to have this, you can't even, so you see, you can't even with one pass of building this, it still doesn't find libUSB, so nah. So with one pass you can't even like build two packages because when they depend on each other. Obviously super annoying stuff. I would totally not architecture it like that. Should have been somehow separated all the, but anyway, maybe also, yeah, whatever. Anyway, why would this still not find libUSB? USB utils, what the heck? It doesn't want libUSB, it wants libUSB utils. Ah, come on. Can't make this stuff up. Let's see if this works. Anyway, that's it for the summary. As usual, when we talk so much here together and stuff, then time goes by, especially when we tinker here in parallel building fun stuff and figuring out. But the sad thing is, not only have I not even verified that this version, the last separately released version of UDEV even works. Okay, now it builds even that. I've not even tested if that really works, because the last time I've applied this to the ThinkPad, my Bluetooth stuff didn't work and my video capture didn't work. So yeah, also UDEV, and probably we can, because we certainly need to modernize all the stuff. It makes no sense to stick with being the last distribution left, sticking with some old vintage version of module init tools and old version of UDEV and stuff. So probably we can, even though it's not fully tested, this is also the problem. We want to advance forward and make progress, and as soon as I commit this, even if it's not fully tested and like barely like test proof of concept compiled, people already try to use it on the mailing list and then like, yeah, it doesn't work anymore, you broke it. It's like, yeah, it's somewhat expected because too many changes. But so that was module init tools package, actually mostly target. So disabling this was already basically only switching this to optional, and so yeah, changed module init tools to kmod by default. Probably long overdue, probably some more time for me to hunt more regressions, because never can have enough for that. Cannot find vim.h in auto, or did we not finish this stupid Vim regression stuff? But even with so much time, although yeah, some of the stuff, modernizing and daily updates, for example. Okay, why is this? Okay, this is probably this libtool crap, or what is erroring out here again? Yeah, this is this libtool stuff that, yeah, I reverted this because it broke cross builds. Now the native build is broken again. What is with this add? What the heck? No download? Checksum error. How is this again possible? This is so hilarious. Why do we have in 2020 so many checksum errors of? That was version 1.15. Did they change this on the server again? Or? Why is this another checksum now? This is hilarious. I slightly wonder, do we need GNU add for something? Maybe we can also remove it from the default package selection, because nah, esoteric vintage old packages. That's it for this tinkering. I hope you learned at least a little bit, if not the most thing, then not only interrupt overload there of 48 or whatever ZARs SSDs online as tech tips and in our channel crashing our system, which, wait a second, what is wrong with this now? So modern hardware and kernels and stuff and still not crash proof. Wonder what is now, this can't even make this up, only live on this channel. What is now wrong with this stuff? Doesn't look like a tar archive, are you freaking kidding me? Empty? What the heck? LZ. Maybe this is why we got a checksum error, only because we don't have the LZ and it wasn't on the T2 mirror yet. What is it, even LZIP or something? Also here, 2020, and each package needs its own. I preferred archiving compressor thing. I really wonder why. I mean, slightly biased with preferring set standard, but why? Set standard is pretty amazing. Even why do you need to use LZ if not XZ or really too many? That explains this checksum error. Probably now the checksum error is away and same checksum again. Yeah, certainly it is. MMD boot in. What is this MMD? 122. What the heck was IR? This is of fun. This is DOS tools stuff of there. Not today. So yeah, mostly, yeah, you see so many hours and days and weeks and months spent and still not making this up. When you work on the stuff, you think you can finally release a new ISO again, and then it's this little thing and that little thing, and so it's still, well, a new GCC, major GCC regression of symbol garbage there, CXX whatever stuff, and then the rest of the stuff mostly only fails with BDB. So most of these errors is BDB libtool tagging of super stupid, annoying. I really wonder what means. Theoretically, we could actually quirk this if we like not wanting to waste our time with this, because I'm really super getting tired. Then else var append make opt. We could just libtool user bin. I think something of that sort I had here, because somehow that was working. Just that this, like using, can't even make this up, using the system installed libtool. Also here, you have a system installed libtool, and then each package carries their own. And yeah, 2020 packages have their own libtool, and then it doesn't even work reliably because, yeah, I'm certainly not debugging this 10,000 lines of shellcode. Probably this is good enough for now, most likely. For cross tools, use some built-in stuff because YOLO, whatever. And for non-cross builds, use this system user bin libtool. The last time I tested this worked for me, whatever's going on with that stuff. And yeah, that is that indeed. Let's remove all the build errors again. The GCC, of course, super annoying major, and you're not making this up that each time you build something is amazing. GNU integration of stuff breaking. Probably that should make all this build. What is actually Linux kernel, most likely only udev. That was missing for building the inetRD. I touched this, so yeah. So, yes, very theoretically we could actually do. What is wrong with Vim? Where did I had this? Maybe locally, do I still have this local? Also, hey, what is this? This is x264. Don't really want to commit this though. Of data bot fame. Did I maybe? Probably. I thought we had this Vim totally patched, no? Do we still have something laying around here in Vim or no? Fix cross-compile glue for latest version. Looks decent. Maybe we had... Did we have lingering stuff maybe in... No. Sorry, I can't mix this stuff up. TempFS is off. Wasted some build cycle time there. What would be wrong with this Vim thing? Also, yeah, I recently took a look into packaging NeoVim just for the fun of it. But that was using so many freaking packages, including LuaJIT and whatnot. Can't find source VimH in auto or ... we still had this, didn't even have to rebuild this. So it tried to run running auto configure. Maybe we only tried cross build though. Maybe I had there some pre-conf vim cache. Yeah, source DRV. Okay, that is the issue here. Var append. We always need this pre-conf. So we vim cache. Why do we have this in there? I don't quite remember. But so pre-conf, and then also this details previous video. Here's more extra conf opt, so probably group this stuff here. tlib. Probably should be good there. So yeah, then we also fix that. So then we are down to mostly, yeah, unfortunately, so much time spent, certainly not the most motivated to tackle this super annoying macro goodness. I would not program this like that, and why should I? Why should it be my burden and pain to fix other people's GCC? Yeah, attempt you can't make this stuff up. This is also one of the few last remaining regressions of why is this a thing? FL wrapper write log of temp dir of temp. Yeah, mkdir it forcibly made install. Can't it really make this up? It's really doing an forced mkd there somewhere in. It's hilarious. Maybe because, I mean, certainly I don't want to patch hundreds of packages for this random stuff. Maybe I just place /temp in some automatically removed file. It's not the most pretty, but honestly, I can't decade after decade undo other people's random garbage. So Anonymous asks, data working in the background. Yeah, so the plan is we have this automated tracker already running the old non-data one. We have it here. So we have the old version of this, the just scanning the directories as per previous video, nightly. And I will also, right now it's not yet done nightly, but soon I will do this, set up a new virtual machine sandbox for this, and then do this fully automatically. Just for now I wanted to supervise this a little bit and also polish the odd version numbering. So this would be the next thing that we would also actually, do we have not T2 trunk? What is this backup doing? Some old garbage, or is this broken or not broken? Does it have some issue or not? Some garbage, whatever was wrong with it. Maybe there was a reason that was there. Next, we would need to add some tags. What was the other that we had there already? Maybe even GNU add or something. And yeah, like this. So one last thing would also be to have here some SV flags. So we have here SV URL, I think is the other one. So that would be as check version flags, and this still not sure about the name, like just odd or odd, because odd OK looks so strange with the D and the O so similar, even though we have a relatively good font. But yeah, maybe odd minor or something, not really odd. Odd stable, not really, totally not. Leave in the comments below what you find here the most amazing tag names. Sometimes just giving there some tag names is so other tag names here. These flags are these flags are cross, no parallel, and actually I think it's no parallel. Probably like this. So maybe just CV. Maybe also just check version flags to keep it short, and then odd version, I don't know. Leave me in the comments below, something of that sort. The reason for this is that I applied already some if actually, wait a second, no, this one actually is okay. Wait a second, I already implemented that if it's only major minor, that this odd thing is only for if it has major, minor and patch level, like that. So this package would actually not even need this here, but something of that sort. And then probably it's soon time to put it into operation, save even more time of ours that we can use all the time for this amazing regressions each and every day. So yeah, work. Hotfix BDBs broken lib tool for native builds again. So that's probably so, because yeah, YOLO, not my broken garbage. Anyway, so yeah, I really want to do more thrilling stuff here. Sorry that I bore you, although quite some people watching. That's certainly amazing. Also document here a daily routine of maintaining Linux distribution and how much work that really is. Also amazing Wi-Fi here, 0 drop frames. So this telecom can do better Wi-Fi than our garbage DOCSIS, Vodafone cable, broken garbage in the office. So yeah, not sponsored by Vodafone cable garbage. And so yeah, soon more amazing stuff, RISC-V, FPGA, microkernel, and other modern code drafting stuff. I hope you enjoyed this anyway and learned something. And yeah, we still have some regressions. Also, yeah, not yet a new lookup, no new dmask message here. So that looks so far so good. I hope it looks the next days. And then yeah, one thing learned, even new for us, and unbound and dangling, unused PCI device GPU like this can apparently lock up your whole system. Not cool. And also, yeah, if you need remote management, then probably you want non-gaming gear, some fancy server hardware, certainly not Apple's garbage, something with advanced remote light-out management stuff, or use your own microprocessing and wire. There's some Ethernet jack with some custom protocol stuff and reset pins there to your logic board headers, but that's certainly something for another day. And I hope to see you soon for all this fun stuff and more low-level information and things to come soon.